My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. During these days of Christmas time, I was reading the other day, one of a spiritual author was trying to remember when was the first time that he met Jesus Christ. It's a very good question. I don't know if you remember the first time you heard about Jesus. It was probably in your family or maybe school. I don't actually remember when was the first time I talked to you, Jesus, or I met you in a more personal way. But the Gospel of today talks about that moment in the life of St. John. The tradition of the Church says that St. John was probably 15, 16 years old when he met Jesus for the first time, when he met you, my Lord. And it is kind of wonderful because many years later when he wrote the Gospel, he said it was 4 p.m. I remember perfectly the day and the time, and probably the location as well. Anyway, it was a funny encounter because the Gospel says that both him and Andrew, the brother of Simon Peter, were following Jesus. They knew that Jesus was someone important, but Jesus was not well known yet. And they were trying to follow him through the streets in a sneaky way, which is kind of funny again. And at a given point, Jesus, you, my Lord, turn back and say, what do you want? What are you looking for? Great question, Jesus. What am I looking for in my life? But you said it in a very casual way. What are you looking for? And the apostles, both of them, were embarrassed, kind of caught into this kind of a moment of awkward situation. And then probably St. John or maybe Andrew didn't know what to say. And then they said, where are you staying? Which is a very Jewish way of getting out of trouble with another question. What are you looking for? And then where are you staying? And then I imagine you, my Lord, with a big smile, with serene and at the same time insightful smile, saying, come and see. Just come and see. And the Gospel says that they spent the whole day with Jesus. Can you imagine? Invited by Jesus to his house for the first time. And the beautiful thing to me is that this Gospel is about friendship. We don't know, because they don't say anything, about doctrine, theories, about rules. They just met you, Jesus. And that was enough. And that was the first thing. In my life, I want to follow you. And I want to follow you with the naturalness of the apostles, of the first disciples. And they were attracted by you. Humanly speaking as well, like, who are you? Why are you here? Come and see and let's talk. And you didn't say, let's go to the temple to pray. Or you didn't say, let's read the Torah, and I'm going to explain to you what you have to do to be happy. You just said, come and let's share a meal together. You did it so many times in the Gospel, Jesus. You invited yourself to other houses for lunch, for dinner, or you invited others to your house. In other words, you created space to develop a relationship, a normal friendship. And this teaches me a lot, Jesus, about myself and my relationship with you first, and also with the rest of the world. If I have a friend, says the Scripture, the Book of Wisdom, if you have a friend, you have found a treasure. And this is a human reality that we have to discover. We must discover this reality, Jesus. Every friend is a treasure. And I want to have a lot of friends. And in my friendship with others people, I don't want to kind of have any plan. I don't want to manipulate my friendship. I don't want to convince anybody about anything. I want to love them, period. I want to love them deeply. And the whole person. And I want to give value of that relationship because it's a treasure, it's a shelter. I don't know if you've seen the movie, it's kind of an old movie from the 80s, Stand By Me, about a bunch of kids, kind of the Goonies, similar movie, but they are trying to find a corpse of someone that is being killed or disappeared in the forest. And it's an adventure about friendship. The four kids are very different, but very close friends. And they go through the forest. The whole movie is just a trip to find this kind of a corpse. And there are different dialogue situations that show you how beautiful, how wonderful being together is for those kids and for us, because it's a nice reflection of our friendships. And there's a moment in the movie when the leader is talking to his best friend, and they are alone. They are walking through the forest on the railroad, and then he's insecure, and he asks his friend, "Am I weird? Hey, am I weird? What do you think about me?" And it's a very kind of an intimate, normal question. But the other guy, which is very spontaneous and honest, genuine guy, waits for a second or two, and then he says, "I guess, but everybody's weird, right?" And then the movie continues, and there are no more words. But they are looking at each other as friends, saying, "Okay, you accept me as I am." And this is just about the friendship that we want to foster with anybody else. Of course, Jesus, my Lord, if I have something weird, or if someone else has something really, really weird, I may say someday, "Hey, maybe you want to change that." But this is later in life. The first thing is to meet people where they are and to accept them as they are, as you did with John and Andrew. Actually, in the gospel, speaking about friendship and knowing people deeply, and then kind of looking at them with mercy, with friendship. Speaking about friendship, there is another kind of a trait that tells me about your personality, Jesus, dealing with your friends. For example, when you gave to both John and James, his brother, the nickname of Sons of the Thunder. It is so funny, Jesus. You are so normal. Those two guys were characters. They were very short-tempered, or maybe it was something in the family. Maybe the dad was as well very energetic. But the fact is that you recognize that trait. And you say, "Hey guys, you know what? From now on, you're going to be the Sons of the Thunder," which is almost like a rock band group or whatever name. But it is so human. You just name them according to their personality. And they accepted that, and they thought, "Yeah, I need to change this." And actually, St. John changed later, over the years. There was a transformation because of your friendship. And John, being young and energetic, once asked you, "Hey, Jesus, do you want me to cast down fire from heaven over this village because they don't want to receive you?" And you said, "Calm down." And John, through your friendship, was changed little by little, transformed. And many years later, when he was about to die, he wrote those wonderful letters to the early Christians. And in one of them starts saying, "Filioli mei, diligite alterutrum," which means, "My little sons, love one another." My little sons, what about that? St. John, from the son of thunder to a kind of a grandpa, very tender, very merciful. My little children, love one another. This is a transformation that happens because there's a friendship in the bottom of that relationship. And this is what I want to have from you, Jesus. I want to learn from you. To be changed, learning how to love you as a friend. To understand myself, looking at you. To accept myself in front of you. To be myself. Because there's no other way to be in front of you. You know me. And you love me as I am. And this is not just a vain thought or just a relativistic idea about, well, whatever happens, God will love you. No, there is a transformation as well. But the first thing is to accept love. And then we can give it to others. If we're obsessed, if I am obsessed about my failures, my limitations, I will not be able to love. So you love me as I am. And I want to love you as you are as well, Jesus. And in this exchange, I will learn from you, and you will learn something from me, or you will love something from me. That is also amazing to listen to you saying something like that. Jesus, I will love to learn something from you. I want to stay with you. Thank you, my Lord, for listening to me. Thank you for offering this genuine friendship where you are open to listen as well. Thank you for this exchange that I am the ones that receives more benefit, but it's open in both sides. Thank you very much for your genuine friendship, Jesus. We were saying at the beginning that those guys, John and Andrew, stayed with you that day. And in your house, I'm pretty sure, I bet you, there was someone else, your blessed mother. And I bet you that she prepared something special for dinner, or maybe a snack, or she was around. And they discovered Mary. They discovered you in your home, at your home, with Mary. And that helped them a lot. And Mary was with a big, huge smile, seeing you guys coming there and sitting down with Jesus. And she thought, wow, these are the best. These are the first disciples, and they are the best friends of Jesus now. I'm going to show my affection to them. Thank you, my mother, for introducing me to the house of Jesus, to your house, to your home. And thank you for putting me in front of your son in order to be his friend, in order to discover the beautiful treasure of a friendship with the Son of God. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.